With the All-Star break looming this weekend, it's time to get some mid-season grades to the New Orleans Pelicans team. And granted, you might want to stick around because this is about to get a little spicy. So cue my music.
This is the Pelicans Scoop with Jordan Kitchens, breaking down everything under the sun about your New Orleans Pelicans. Smash that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to stay on top of your Pels content. Now, running point, here's Jordan.
What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another edition of the Pelicans Scoop. I am your host with the most, Jordan Kitchens, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the torture chamber. Nah, I'm playing. We not, the cartel don't have me. I know. Y'all, I said, gonna say a couple things. The cartel gonna come get me. No, I'm still here. But ladies and gentlemen, All-Star Weekend is approaching. The Super Bowl weekend has just left. So now we are in prime basketball season. And like I said, when All-Star Weekend is around, it's pretty much the halfway point of the NBA season. So it's only right. It's only right for how much pain and misery this Pelicans season has brought upon me, you especially watching this video, because you're as much how crazy I am to keep talking about this team, you're even more crazy for still tuning in and watching me. So I appreciate your madness, and obviously you appreciate my madness. But it's only right we dive into the nitty-gritty. And I'm going to give a couple criterias up first so you can understand how I'm high-graded things and, where my mind was at. So hopefully you can understand. But off rip, I'm going to make it be known. I am not grading on no curve. Forget the injuries, forget all that. I'm not grading this test on any curves. So if you was expecting me to grade it on a curve, you should have studied. You should have studied. Plain and simple. Nobody passed. Or people passed. Nobody made A's. I didn't give out no A's. There's no such thing as an A+ on this season. None of y'all deserved an A. So called it off rip. If you don't like what I'm saying, go study. Go study. Because I don't give grades. I reveal them. I don't give grades. I reveal your grade. So off rip. So I'm going to tell y'all the criteria what I graded on. Now, these are mid-season grades. When the season's over with, it might be a little different. So a lot of these guys, their grades, I ain't going to say they might be able to get an A. I can't tell you how the rest of the season will play out, but I can tell you what I've seen up until this point, right? Let me just reiterate it. I don't give grades. I reveal them. Expectations. That is one of the qualifiers. Or my criteria. Expectations. What were your expectations leading into the season? Are you meeting those expectations up until right now? Number 2, obviously, games played. Yes. After dealing with this Brandon Ingram saga and Zion Williamson saga, still dealing with the Zion Williamson saga, like having guys are not available. Availability is your best ability. So you're getting graded on games played, and are you out there? Yes. And obviously, the final criteria is results. What are your results? Have your results lead up to your expectations? Have you exceeded expectations, or have you not come close to your expectations before the season? Without further ado, we're going to go from B's. I said I didn't give no A's, so we'll go from B's till down. And right now, who I've as the highest graded player in the team so far at a B+, CJ McCollum. Nah, I know that's people. Listen, guys. Regardless of how you feel about CJ McCollum, the man was never brought here to be the star. He was brought here to be the number 3 behind Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. Obviously, those two guys are never on the court. CJ has been playing through injuries. And if you look, check his, forget, because people be like, well, dude, he doesn't play well against good team and all this. Brother, CJ was never brought here to be the main focus. He has to be the main focus because the guys that are the main focus are never available. But I'm about to say, I'm pretty sure he's the franchise leader in threes all time right now. And he just got here less than 3 years ago. So right now, from expectations from the season, CJ is doing what I expected out of CJ McCollum. He's been playing, and his results are there. His results are there. Still shooting high 30s and shooting 45% from the field, high 30s from 3, 38% from 3. Like, can't change that. So CJ McCollum right now is the highest graded player at a C+. I mean, a B+. My bad. B+, excuse me. Coming in at number 2, Trey Murphy at a B. Solid B. He's exceeded expectations. He missed a couple games early in the season with the hamstring, but other than that, he's been playing. He's exceeded expectations, and his results are only thing that's weighing his grade down is one that the team is terrible and that he missed a couple games. So Still, a B is solid for how bad of a season this is. And granted, I said there's no A's. A B is solid. So CJ McCollum, B plus. Trey Murphy, B. Coming in at a B minus, I have Yves Missi, the rookie. Expectations, because you have exceeded expectations. Your results, they vary, but at the same time, you have exceeded expectations because before the season, I was saying like he might be able to get like 10 minutes a game. And it's crazy. I bought into the Daniel Tice thing because we all seen that was going to be a disaster on his own. But I didn't expect Yves Missi to just be how ready he was, because the way they played him out, especially in the beginning, especially media day when David Griffin and Bryson Graham was speaking to the media, it was like, if he's ready to go, like we know he's raw, he's gonna be raw, but if he's ready to go, we're gonna play him, but like we're gonna take him along slowly. So I was more expecting Yves Missi to be taken along slowly, but obviously when you have no center depth, you just gotta throw him in the fire, and he's survived. Like you see what he can be. He's still extremely raw, but compared to where his expectations were and where he has been playing for this mid-season at this point of the season, it's hard to say, because he's stepped up kind of the most. You have no other big to go to. Kelly Olynyk still, I mean, we just got Kelly Olynyk, but big men, and he has to go against, and he's in the Western Conference with your Wembys and Nikola Jokic's. You get the point what I'm getting at, right? So Yves Missi, he's exceeded my expectations. So y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. I have him at a B minus. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about any of the grades. It don't matter. Coming in also at a B minus, I have Brandon Boston Jr. because you grab this guy off the street. He hasn't been playing a lot recently because he has like a limit on how many games he can play without getting a real NBA deal. So I expect them to work something out in the offseason to retain him. But he has exceeded expectations because there was no expectations. And you've come in, you've been a somewhat of a journeyman. You was a highly touted player coming out of college. Well, coming out of high school. You didn't really do so hot at Kentucky. You go to the Clippers, you're bouncing from the Clippers to the Spurs. You don't really get an opportunity. You finally get an opportunity with the Pelicans, and you have exceeded expectations. Right, you've carved a role out in the NBA as a solid role player because he has an IQ. That's one thing about Brandon Boston Jr. He has an IQ. Like he's a very in tune, intellectual basketball player. And he's very skilled too. It's like a Brandon. I said Brandon. Obviously, he was compared to Brandon Ingram, but he's like a Gen Z Brandon Ingram. Y'all get. He's like a Zoomer Brandon Ingram. Like he's Brandon Ingram, diet Brandon Ingram. So from where he's came in and where he is now, like getting solid minutes, being a role player, even though we're terrible, I get it, but he's still solid on the Pelicans. So Brandon Boston Jr., he comes in at a B minus. Now coming out of C plus, I have DeJounte Murray. Oh, that's where it's gonna get kind of hairy from here on out. Like, y'all might not like to hear what I gotta say, but y'all know if you stay on this channel, if you watching these videos, y'all know I'm gonna keep it real. I'm always gonna keep it real. So DeJounte Murray, I have him coming out of C plus. He breaks his hand game one. It took him a while to get back. And I'm not saying like get back from the injury, but like get back into rhythm. Obviously, it's gonna affect any player if you break your shooting hand game one of the season and you rush back trying to just help this team out that traded for you because you're so excited. So it's really just my expectations where I thought we would be. It's gonna have to take a knock. Games played, obviously. It's gonna have to take a knock. Results, they were getting there. We was getting there. Finally get help. That didn't help them that once the team, I can't even say the team together because DeJounte, Zion, Brandon Ingram still never played a game together. But and with CJ, never played a game together. But at the same time, it would C plus. I feel like it does them justice because I have to be fair and grade them how I grade everybody else. But at the same time, I still respect what DeJounte brought this season and where we could have went if things would have shook up. So I don't think a C plus is bad. You still pass and you didn't get a D. So you just gotta go study a little bit more. We'll see next season with the torn Achilles and all that, but we'll see. Another C plus, I have Jose Alvarado. I mean, really why Jose is a C plus because he was already expected to be like a C plus type of. I didn't really have super high expectations for Jose this season to be like, oh, this Jose Alvarado's breakout. Like he does Jose things. Only problem he's just super small, but he's still shooting at a high clip. He give you energy off the bench, somewhat playmaking. He's just 5'10". That's the only problem against Jose, but he's still doing Jose things. Like he's a C plus, and I don't think there's anything wrong. I just broke down with DeJounte. Jose missed a couple games, so that's knock it. But really, it's just he's kind of where I expected him to be. He's not really doing nothing out of the ordinary. So Jose Alvarado, C+. Coming in at a C, we have Herb Jones. Yeah, I mean, Herb Jones' regression offensively hurt this team a lot in the beginning of the year. He's been playing through injuries, been hurt. So you've got to take the game availability. You're not here, and you just come off a year of winning first team All NBA, shooting crazy from three. I'm first team All NBA, first team All Defense. Excuse me, shooting crazy from three. Nosedive this year. Your three died, and you was hurt, and the defense really wasn't there a lot when you were playing on the court this season. Granted, you had really much to work with. You really ain't no other defenders on the team anymore that can really elevate you. Like, Dyson Daniels and Nashi Marshall are gone, but still at the same time, Herb Jones, I got him coming in at a C. Coming out of a C minus, we have Zion Williamson. Everything's working against him right now. I mean, from availability, he only played 16 games this season. Availability, womp. Expectations were super high for you, womp, because you're coming off a year where you played your most games ever. You lead us in the play-in, you get hurt at the end, you get swept out the playoffs. So you expect you're making all this noise coming to the season about vengeance and doing all this like this. I'm coming for vengeance this year. You're missing games for un-COVID illness. And then you got the hamstring thing where he was just out forever. Come out with the video with the shirt off and he looking fat. You get the back tat. And then you get suspended because you're missing practice. You're late to flights. So if you get suspended for it, that means it's been going on. This is not something new. So Zion coming out of C-. It really should be a D+, but you've been balling since he's been on the court. So his results have been amazing. So that's the only thing keeping his grade above a D+. So he comes in a C- just because even then you got this minute restriction, but even with the minute restriction, he giving you 40 points on 21 shots, no threes. It's hard to not recognize that. So Zion C- at best. So we're gonna wrap this up. I'm about to say that Zion's pretty much all that really needs to be said. Javonte Green C-. I got JRE coming in out of C-. Jordan Hawkins D. Expectations, we was expecting you to take a leap. You've been hurt this year, so availability, your expectations have not been there, and your results have not been there. Super disappointed about Jordan Hawkins at this point of the season. Had big hopes for him. Still kind of do. All right, I'm not giving up on him just yet, but it hurts to see where I was expecting him to be and where he is right now. So Jordan Hawkins at a D. Willie Green, D, obviously. You can't coach a fish to drink of water, right? Willie Green couldn't teach a polar bear how to catch a fish, right? Willie Green can't coach a spider to make a web. He couldn't do nothing. You're finally coming out here with a little bit of Trey and Zion two-man game, but we're already dead in the hole. You really need to be fired. So Willie Green, D. And they finish this off. We have David Griffin. What a nice F. Nice failure from the lack of not getting a big man, talking about we're going to figure it out, from the lack of urgency and moving Brandon Ingram when you knew you was not going to re-sign him. You knew you was never going to re-sign him. You should have moved Brandon Ingram. You couldn't rip that Band-Aid off. So the lack of that and what you got, you got a first-round pick end of the day, but it's a Pacers top 4 protected. So even if the Pacers are really bad, we're not even going to get it. From that, from how you've been handling Zion and letting them skip practice and being late and all this, so you finally got to suspend them and do all this optics, and terrible job from Griff all around the season. A lot of this has to do with him not letting Willie Green go by now, because you let Willie Green go, you're next. So David Griffin, you're coming in at an F. So that has been my mid-season grades for the New Orleans Pelicans team at this point, currently on February 10th, 2025. This list is subjected to change, and we will change it at the end of the season. So thank you guys for sticking it for another edition of the Pelicans Scoop. I have been your host, the most Jordan Kitchens, and I'm signing out. Oh, but hold on, before I sign out, like I said, y'all comment down below what y'all think, man. So now I'm signing out. Peace.